Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60andMe. Welcome to a brand new day. Hope you're doing okay wherever you are. I want to talk to you today about a word that can change everything in the way that we live our lives and in the way that we see ourselves, the way we interact with others. It's a word that we don't like to say sometimes, but we find ourselves saying it probably more often than we want to or need to. And that word is 2 letters, and the word is no. No. How often do you say that word? Probably not as much as you want to say. Now, this is a fascinating conversation. It was actually brought to life by an article that Penelope Whiteley, one of our fabulous bloggers, wrote, because she is, she's just very down to earth and very practical in her way that she views the aging process. And women, as you get a little older, I think you start wanting to please people in the same way that you always have, and don't please yourself. You don't serve yourself, and in always saying yes to things that you perhaps don't want to do, or to people that maybe you don't want to have a relationship with anymore. We always default to the one that's easiest. That's the yes. We have been giving ourselves constantly to people all of our lives. Think about it. When we were young, we wanted to please our parents. I mean, that's natural for all children, of course. But as you get older, you want to please your teachers. You want to please your friends in school, and you think that somehow is achieved by saying yes to everything. When someone invites you to go somewhere, it's yes. You are just kind of ingrained to say yes to situations that when you think about it, well, I really wish I'd said no to that. That really wasn't something I wanted to do. So if you're having difficulty saying the word no, I want to explore that with you today and help to establish the art of saying no, and how you can, use that process to tear down boundaries and just create a world where you're not feeling so much guilt about doing things that you don't want to be doing. I think it's really, really powerful, and at the heart of so many challenges that we face as older women. I think that the way that this works as we get a little older is we sort of translate the word no into the desire to please. And I think I talked about that earlier in terms of your children and as a child, and then when you're in relationships. So you've got this desire to please, and somehow that's equated with your self-worth. If you say no, it somehow is negating part of you. It's making you something that you don't want to be. But by saying yes and trying to please everybody, then it's just somehow makes you feel better. It makes you feel more, just more acceptable to the world. And don't forget, we live in a society where, we're geared to conform, and we're encouraged to be like everybody else. There's a kind of unspoken rules that we follow in terms of our careers, in terms of our clothes, our style, and the things that we choose. It may have gotten a little easier over the last year. I think that, as we get older, every year, we learn to sort of establish ourselves and ground ourselves in who we are. I know that I have found that to be the case over the years, and I hope you have too. So think about kids. Children, toddlers. What's the first word they learn? No. And they look at you with that little no. Do you want to do this? No. No. And then if you're very fortunate, you get them to say thank you. So it's no, thank you. But it's still no. They know how to do it. They know what they want and what they don't want. Sometimes they can be very, very insightful. I know with my grandchildren, it's like, sometimes I've learned a lot from their beautiful honesty and their love of the truth. They just don't do things they don't want to do, and as it should be. They know what they like and what they don't. So as I said, that freedom to say no is kind of replaced by the desire to please. You want to make everybody happy. So say yes every time. So do you stand up for yourself? Do you speak your truth? Do you want to be guilt-free? Well, here's some ideas. I'll tell a story about my own personal situation. When I was divorced many years ago, I met with a friend who we had lunch. I can remember the lunch as if it was yesterday. And he said to me, okay, Margaret, this is it. You are now in charge of your own Broadway show. This is it. You get to create the set. You get to create the place that's taking place. You can live and move where you want, do what you like. You get to design the costumes. You get to choose the people that are going to be acting alongside you. You get to choose your cast. You get to choose, this is the cool one. You get to choose who's in the audience. You're selling the tickets. or you're giving the tickets to people. You don't have to have anybody there that you want. And basically that whole message, and I love Ray gave me this idea because he also has been through a lot in his life, and that those comments were so powerful for me. So you get to maintain your privacy or your world. You can do it. And you do that by saying the other word, the 3-letter word, which is yes. Say yes. Yes to yourself. Yes to that style, yes to that place you want to live in and those things you want to own. Yes to the friends that you associate with, and to the priorities and the decisions that you make in your life. Of course, there are going to be conditions around it, that will kind of influence the decision making, and that's okay. I mean, you might need to say no to something because it's just not, it may not be possible. There may be some limitation. You want to live in Bali, but if your grandchildren are in New York, you're probably not going to do that. Or you may, and that's the whole thing, is you may do those things that you think are unexpected. Of course, there's going to be some things where you have to choose some options that are not exactly what you want, but then you can always compromise. I mean, for example, if you want to live close to your grandchildren, you can say, well, then I'll just spend a few weeks here or a month there. I'll just split my time. I'll find a compromise. I'll find a way to do this. And I'll say yes to me, but I'll say no to maybe the perfect, in my mind, scenario. So establish what's important to you. This is what Penelope talks about in this article. It's so important. Find out what your values are, because that is what will guide you. Those values will guide you to making decisions that are maybe perhaps feel a little bit difficult right now. If your values are around family, then you're going to probably make decisions and say no to some things that, maybe it's a relationship. Maybe there's a relationship that's an opportunity for you that sounds and feels right, but it's not going to fit in with your values. It's not going to be consistent. And yeah, our values evolve as well. So that's not a big deal to change, if you really want to have that decision. But I think it's so important that we start saying no to invitations that don't take us where we want to go. That we start saying, don't keep saying, no, keep saying yes to things that we know we're not enjoying. Even volunteering. I mean, sometimes people just expect you to help because you've done it for 10 years. But now to say, no, I don't want to do that this year. Thank you for asking me, but I don't. And just say the word. And, I think that one thing that Penelope talks about, and I've said this several times in videos, is that no is a complete sentence. The word no is a complete sentence. You don't have to explain. You don't have to justify. You don't have to give a reason. You can say no. Just no. No, thank you. And say it with a smile. That always helps too. So use your intuition. Use your intuition to set the boundaries, and you'll know when it feels right. You'll know when this is the right thing to say. No, I really don't want to spend Christmas this year with you guys. I want to go on a cruise. I want to. So, I just, there's some things that are so emotional and so deep inside us. You've done it for 20 years, 30 years. But this year it's a no. And that's okay. You can come back to a yes next year. But if right now you want to be in the no, that's okay too. So what are the benefits of saying no? Well, you start doing things that you enjoy. You start setting the preferences that are important to you. Your time is not going to be filled with people that you don't really resonate with anymore, that you don't have anything in common with, that maybe you've just grown apart. And that's okay. Or maybe there are toxic relationships that you don't have to be part of anymore. Well, I know this is hard. I mean, family and friends, it's hard to say no if that guilt comes into play, but it's really important. Saying yes all the time can be really, really exhausting. And the art of saying no is to stand up straight and look people in the eye and say, thank you for that invitation, but no, I'm afraid not this year. Or no, just no. So say, the thing about saying no to the things that are, you just have a sense that are not right, is going to free you to do something super important. And that is to say yes. So yes, say yes to your world, yes to the choices that you've got in front of you, yes to life, yes to the people that matter to you, and yes to new people, new experiences. This is what being older is all about. You get to do your thing. And honestly, everybody will understand. If they're your friends, they will understand. So I hope that this has been useful. I mean, I think that if there's one phrase I want you to remember from this, it is that simple: no is a full sentence. It's a complete sentence. You don't have to justify it. Just know when you want to say no and say it. Say it proud. Hope that you're doing great. And I was just going to mention again that if you've liked this video, you found it useful and inspiring, please subscribe to our channel here. You can just press the subscribe button and just join the family. That's what I would like to invite you to do. So let me know what you think about this. Do you find it hard to say no to people? Are you up for learning the art of saying no and the art of saying yes? I hope so. I wish you all the best, as always. And take very good care. I'm always with you and I'm by your side. Just take it easy, go easy on yourself and have a fabulous life. And we'll talk again very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.